Hi everyone! My name is Christian and you are watching episode 9 of the Ohio WIC formula series on YouTube. Up to this point, we've been discussing standard infant formula and formula basics. Today, we're going to start to dive into specialized formulas by talking about the Ohio WIC prescribed formula and food request form, otherwise known simply as the prescription form. Standard contract formulas do not need a prescription form completed because of their suitability to wider audiences and because of the contract. Specialty products are non-contract and only appropriate for infants and children with relevant and specific medical needs. Today, we're going to discuss each section of the prescription form. When a special formula is requested from WIC, the Ohio WIC prescribed formula and food request form must be completed appropriately and in full. You'll notice at the top of the form, right below the title, there is a reminder that these are requests and they will only be approved based on program regulations and the completed information on the form, which is federally required. It is important to note that prescription forms must be completed in full and make sense with an accurate diagnosis which is relevant to the requested product. Ohio WIC health professionals do reserve the right to decline a request if the required information isn't included. Clarifying information cannot be obtained as needed, or the medical diagnosis does not follow state and federal WIC policy. See Section 312 of the Ohio WIC Policy and Procedure Manual for more information about requirements related to certain specialty formulas. Section A on the prescription form is required patient information. The participant's name, date of birth, caregiver's name, and weeks born early should be included here. The final required piece of information in this section is the medical diagnosis or condition. Please note that the diagnosis must be specific and correlate to the requested formula. It's very important for WIC health professionals to take note of the diagnosis listed on the prescription form. It's possible that it could affect risk codes that are given for the participant. For example, if failure to thrive is listed on the prescription form, the health professional will want to obtain further clarifying information and decide if the corresponding risk code is appropriate or not, and document the reasoning either way. Section B is required special formula information. The first item under this section is the amount of formula that is to be provided per day. This must be a measurable amount. So entries like 32 ounces per day, 1 can per day, or tube feeding rates that can be calculated are all appropriate. Comments like WIC max, as needed, PRN, or per WIC cannot be measured and therefore are not acceptable. There are a few reasons why this section of the prescription form is important. One is to assess compliance. If the physician wants a child to have 3 cans of pediatric formula per day, but the health professional finds that the caregiver is actually only providing 1, there will need to be some assessment to determine the best outcome and how it can help achieve that. Is the child only tolerating 1 can per day? Is growth or the underlying health condition suffering? If so, you will want to counsel the caregiver appropriately on how to increase the formula, potentially discuss offering a different formula with the doctor, and also teach other ways to increase calories in the child's diet. On the other hand, if the 1 can per day appears to be adequate for the child, the physician should be informed of the change in the child's diet or health status and permission sought to decrease the number of cans being provided from WIC. It is important for WIC to be part of the healthcare team, and this is one way to do that. Another reason why the amount per day is important is that it helps identify whether WIC should provide the WIC formula availability letter, which we will discuss in a later video, or refer to other programs if additional formula is needed. Also, in Section B of the prescription form, please be sure to note if there are any special instructions or comments given by the physician and take these into consideration. It is a great opportunity for communication. When WIC staff go visit healthcare providers, they should be encouraged to use this line to tell us any information we may need to know. Did the participant trial other products? Great. Should the formula be mixed to a higher calorie level? Good to know. Are there other medical considerations at play that WIC should be aware of? Very helpful. If utilized more frequently, this space could greatly cut down on confusion and extra phone calls. Next on the form is intended length of use. This can be a maximum of 6 months. If anything additional is written in here like 1 year or until next birthday, it cannot be accepted. Local staff must watch the length of time very carefully. If a product is issued on the participant's card past the indicated time frame without an updated prescription, this is incorrect, and if noted on the management evaluation, could contribute to a corrective action. The trial of standard products section is next on the form and should be encouraged to be completed when switching to a specialized product. With some medical conditions like neonatal abstinence syndrome, the trial of a standard product isn't appropriate, and it's acceptable to start on the most suitable specialty product right away. In the last part of Section B, the desired product should be indicated on the form. WIC cannot provide 2 different formulas in the same month. If 2 products are requested, health professionals could potentially alternate months, or more likely, a WIC formula availability letter could be provided for the second formula. In Part C of the form, there are 3 different things that can be indicated. The first is that no supplemental foods should be provided. If this box is checked, this may be an indicator that the physician is requesting the at-risk package. We discussed the at-risk package in episode 4, if you would like to review. The second option is that a modified food package may be requested. If the participant has an allergy to a product or it's otherwise not appropriate to them based on their medical condition, it could be indicated here. The last checkbox is for food products that can only be issued by Ohio WIC health professionals if a special formula is issued and the appropriateness is indicated on the prescription form. If these products are not indicated on the form, they are not to be provided. Similarly, in the other 2 sections of Part C, if certain foods are to be excluded per the physician's orders, but they're issued anyway, this is incorrect and could become an issue on the management evaluation or other chart audits. Finally, Part D. Only health professionals licensed by the state of Ohio to write prescriptions can sign off on the Ohio WIC prescribed formula and food request form. If you receive a form signed by a registered nurse or dietitian, for example, it can't be accepted. It's always important to use the most current version of the prescription form. You can determine this by the effective date and the policy and procedure letter number in the bottom left corner. Barring any major changes in the middle of the fiscal year that would need to be immediately addressed, the prescription form is updated once per year and is effective on October 1st of each year. On the back of the form, you will find instructions and a summary of the information that I relayed to you today in this video. If you receive questions, this is a good place to refer to in order to provide more information. Thanks for tuning in today. Until next time, stay healthy, Ohio.